Hey everybody, and welcome back to Pixel Junkies podcast, episode 177.
Oh my god, it's an Aston Martin this week.
Yes, that was a good Aston Martin. I like that one. Today we are playing Tomb Raider. This isn't
a Let's Play video. We're not playing something.
Tomb Raider Shadow.
We're talking about various subjects.
The new Shadow of the Tomb Raider has come out. It's come out as the day of recording, so
the last one.
Is it?
Yeah.
Really?
The last one of this trilogy.
Yeah.
Oh.
Last of the trilogy. Okay. If they'll do more, I don't know. Hopefully they do more. I killed a bug.
Oh, okay. I thought you just picked it all.
I thought you picked up a rat.
Yeah.
There was a very visceral as I stabbed its head off.
I have this now, and it's just a rat
puts it in her pocket.
Yeah.
Pocket rat.
So this game sees where the first game was Laura on a Japanese.
Lara.
Where this game seems Lara on a Japanese island, and the second game in a very Russian inspired kind of Ukraine mountains, Ural mountains area. This one, I think she's in Bolivia, or is it unnamed South American
in Peru.
country? Oh, it's Peru. Okay.
It's pretty ignorant.
Peru's close to. Is close to Bolivia. So she's obviously
beginning of the game takes place in Cozumel. As you probably were aware, at the end of the last game, it panned over a sheet that said Mexico and Cozumel on it.
I didn't know that. Stop spoiling the experience for me.
If you paid attention to the last game, you knew she was going to Cozumel. And then the rest of the game is in Peru.
Jeez.
Yeah, that's it. Ruined.
I don't have to play this now, because I already know what happens.
Well, you got this kid who's splayed out on the ground to look forward to. So
Was he like a quadruple amputee or something?
Oh, maybe.
With legs?
Who knows?
What? I don't know. He got his arms lopped off. He got him back, and then they got lopped off again. They're just like, you don't. That's it, John. I mean, we're not gonna keep giving out arms to you if you're just gonna keep losing them like that.
Can you get your prosthetic limbs amputated?
No, because your prosthetic limbs can just come off.
Is taking them off an amputation?
I don't think we've gotten to the point yet where you can surgically insert, have prosthetic limbs surgically attached to your body.
Okay, but when that day comes, can they be amputated?
Yes.
So you could become an indefinite number of amputees.
Yes. I don't know why you're...
Oh shit, I ended up upgrading my stuff.
Huh?
I don't know why you're surprised. I mean, that happened to Darth Vader a lot.
Already
he got a lot of his limbs lopped off a lot of the time.
A lot of it was only one time. Well, yeah, one time. Two times.
He had all of it lopped off, and then he got his hand lopped off.
And then he got his hand lopped off again by Luke, and that's not counting all the times that happened in...
Oh, yeah, you're right.
The hand lopped off was...
Had his hand lopped off.
He got his hand cut off by Dooku.
A lot of his things lopped off.
Yeah.
And then he had his hand lopped off again.
Yeah.
So what number amputee is Darth Vader at his death?
At least 2.
Well, it was his legs and just one arm.
Dooku cut off his right arm.
Hand.
His right hand. And then the rest of him was cut off by Obi-Wan, and then Luke cut off, I believe, his right hand again at the end of Return of the Jedi.
Yes, but what specifically did Obi-Wan cut off?
Just his legs.
Everything else.
Was it
his legs below the knee, and his other arm at the elbow, I believe.
But the rest of his right arm was fine.
Yes, he did not hit the right arm.
Yeah. So the hand that Luke cuts off is the hand that Dooku cut off.
So he's a triple amputee.
It's the original robot hand that Anakin got, unless he upgraded it.
I think so, yes.
It was a robotic hand, though.
Yes.
So it was a triple amputee. Anyway, that's this game. Thanks for watching. Darth Vader, triple amputee.
Aaron, let's
I always thought that if Indiana Jones were to take place in Peru, I'd like him to be a woman, but I couldn't get Harrison Ford to wear a dress. He said he would after I wore a dress, but he wouldn't. He.
All right, thanks, George.
Did you hear Did you hear the big controversy from Harrison Ford?
No.
He came out and. The nerve of this guy. The fucking nerve of this guy. He came out and said that voters should vote for people that believe in science.
Oh.
Fuck Harrison Ford.
I thought you were gonna say something awful. Like,
What a cunt.
He came out and said, like, I've raped women. I'm like, no!
He wouldn't come out and say that.
Just one day, apropos of nothing, he's like, I've raped women!
Just
It's like, well, I
before
guess
y'all
Harrison
find
Ford's a
out.
monster now. Like, let's all beat him to death.
No, people would still like Harrison Ford.
Oh my God.
You'd have to come out and
Fuck,
say
he's a
something
fucking
bad
rat.
about Han Solo. I've always hated Han Solo.
Now he dies!
Han Solo raped women.
You say Tom Solo?
Fuck
Tom
you.
Solo. He calls him Tom. It's like, I always thought it was Tom Solo. The whole movie he was getting it wrong.
Before we talk about Tomb Raider, because that's not the first topic on the list.
Well, what's the first topic on the list?
Hey, more Spider-Man impressions. Aaron has finished Spider-Man, so
Yes,
tell us about it.
Also, you have played it.
I've played it, yes.
So it's not
haven't
just me
finished it.
talking about it anymore.
Yeah, I don't play crap, so I shan't be playing it.
You would love
I'm,
Spider-Man.
I'm getting it for my birthday.
Oh. How do you know that? How do you know what you're getting for your birthday? It's supposed to be a
This
surprise.
is the one thing like I asked for. I was like, what do you want for your birthday? I don't know, new Spider-Man game that looks pretty good. It's like, what about Infinity War? If you're so inclined, one or the other.
Did you get Han Solo?
Oh,
Or
Well,
just
that
Han-
means you're
just
definitely
Solo?
not getting Spider-Man for your birthday. Because if you say what, if you ask, your parents ask you what do you want for your birthday, and you say this, and they say what about this, you're not getting what you wanted.
yeah.
They already got you the other thing.
Well, then why did they ask?
Exactly. Anyway, fuck you, Adam's parents. You're probably great.
I remember distinctly for most of my young life, like between when I was like 3 years old and can like conceptualize like the idea of vacations till I was about 9, I'd always wanted to go to Disney World, like every kid. Like I was like, I want to go to Disney World. I want to go to Disney World someday. Someday I'm gonna get to Disney.
Well,
World.
what about Thomas Amusement?
And and then one day my parents sat me down. I think it was for my birthday, and said, "All right, Adam, we got a big surprise for you. Where's the one place in the world you would love to go on vacation?" And
Splashing pot.
without breaking a sweat, I said Australia, and they looked at each other like, do you have another one? I'm like, I guess Disney World too. That would be kind of cool. And they're like, well, you're on to Disney World.
And you're like, oh.
I've never wanted to go to Disney World.
I love Disney. Like, no joke, no irony or anything like that. I genuinely love Disney World. Love it to pieces. But
I
go
don't
in
like
the off
people,
season.
so.
It seems like a cool place, but yeah, that's my issue. It's just way too many people.
Yeah, in the off season, it's much better.
Yeah.
I've been both in peak season and off season, and I would not recommend anybody go in the. Actually, I would recommend everybody go in the peak season. That's the perfect time to go. Go in the off season.
Why would you choose to go in the peak season?
Because it's summer, and you want to be down there when it's summer to have your perfect little vacation with your perfectly rotten kids and your perfectly boring husband, so you complete the perfect picture, so you can put it up on Facebook, so that you can pretend that your life isn't a downward spiral of mediocrity and failure.
Aaron, is that a magic dagger you get in the storyline? Did you just spoil the game for me?
No.
Oh.
That's just a regular dagger.
It is a dagger you get
It's
in
just
the
a
story.
regular magic dagger.
It's
magic
actually-
glowing dagger.
It's not a dagger at all, but you'll find out when you play it.
Look at Aaron spoiling the game.
Yeah.
It's
Ruined.
actually a sword for gnomes.
Completely ruined. I'm going to return this. I haven't played it on Steam yet. I'm going to return it. Fuck this.
Isn't this where Arnold Schwarzenegger dove off the cliff to get away from the Predator?
Maybe.
No, it's just called Predator. The Predator is the one that's out now.
No, I meant
And he crawls up there and covers himself in mud?
Movie.
No, he's just called Predator.
No, it's the Predator.
His name is Predator.
No, it's not. That
In
would
the
be
new
so
movie, he's the Predator.
Oh my God, no.
That's where he crawls up and covers himself in mud.
Yeah.
In the second one, his name is Predator 2.
Lara can cover herself in mud in this too. It must be the same universe.
Really?
Yep.
How?
How do you cover yourself in mud?
Yeah.
You roll around in it.
Yeah, she just wipes it on herself real dirty like. Lara's a dirty girl.
Please.
That's
no.
misogynist.
Please don't. Please don't do that.
Please don't why.
He's just literally describing her, though.
Yeah.
When she's covered in mud, she's
yeah,
dirty.
but it was the context and the
It wasn't
and the
context,
inflections.
though.
It was.
What was the context?
Wow.
Lara's
the
The context
a
was her
dirty
covering
girl.
herself in mud.
Yeah, but it was okay. Perhaps not the context,
The
but the
inflection?
inflections of his voice.
She's a dirty girl.
What if he can't control The inflections.
then that would be too bad for Aaron, but because he can. Speaking of a little bit, there's been a little bit of controversy surrounding this game. I suppose you should address it first before we get into the impressions.
We're going to talk about Spider-Man first, but anyway.
Well, then fucking talk about Spider-Man!
Stop changing the subject, you friggin' misogynist.
Your superpower is derailing a conversation. Anyway.
Aaron, you finished the game.
I did finish it, yeah. I don't know if you want to give your impressions before I kind of wrap up my...
Sure, okay, fine.
My thoughts on it.
I guess. It's good.
Alright.
It's good. I don't like some of the repetitiveness of the game, but I suppose that's to be expected with big open world experiences nowadays.
Yeah, that's fair.
It was like, hey, collect 47 things. Hey, you got them? Here's 47 more.
It does get a bit much. It's kind of like, I was like, okay, that's not too bad when the game starts, and it kind of introduces you to collectibles. But then as you do like more and more missions, it starts displaying more and more collectibles, and by the end of the game, you're like, Jesus fucking Christ, I can't even see the city anymore.
Yeah.
Collect these 9 million things. Like, alright, that's a bit much game.
Just like Spider-Man always does. Yeah. Or when in the comics, when Spider-Man went out and collected 500 different fucking hot dogs, or whatever he's collecting in the game.
I wish we were collecting hot dogs.
Hot dogs. So, I mean, that aside, it gets a bit much if you want to unlock everything in the game, and never mind if you want to 100% the game. But just unlock all the suits and all the skills and everything requires you to basically do all of those, get all the collectibles, do all the optional objectives, do all of the challenges and all that sort of thing. So that becomes a bit much. I mean, I'm fine with the game being difficult, but I think the fact that it's difficult paired with repetition, that kind of makes it a little bit less enjoyable to complete the game.
A little bit.
A little bit, yeah. And if you want to do everything. Now, there's no suits, as far as I'm aware, apart from ones that you unlock in the story, that are inherently locked behind...
Yeah, you just gotta spend tokens that you get from
so you won't be able to get all the suits, but you can get any suit that you want.
Yeah.
So if there's like a particular one that you would like to get, you don't need to go do some asinine thing. You just need to do the asinine things to get all of them. So I guess that's not too bad, I guess, in a way. My what the fuck was that?
The missions that I've played, though, like the actual story of the game and the actual main missions and the side missions too, though not as good. Really well done.
Yeah, the story is great. I think it has a great pacing for the first 2/3. It does a lot of like slow build up and explaining things and establishing the world. But then my biggest issue, I think, is the third act, where it kind of just hits the fast forward button, and it's a bit like, okay, it builds up all these really cool storylines and then goes through them a bit too fast, I thought. But it's a great starting point for a Marvel game universe if that's what they decide to do. So I'm looking forward to any more games that they make. I think Square Enix is working on an Avengers game, so I think this is like, there's a lot of little kind of Easter eggs, like there's an Avengers Tower and there's Doctor Strange's little whatever it is, the building thing.
Those games aren't going to be connected to this.
Maybe they will. I don't know.
I doubt it. This is a Sony game.
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, but I mean, it's still like commissioned by Marvel. Like, there's a little Easter egg if you take a picture of Avengers Tower in this game. Peter mentions that the Avengers never use their tower; they're always on the West Coast.
Yeah. And
so I was just thinking, like, maybe there's something to there. Maybe there's something to that. And somebody on Reddit was saying that, I don't know where they got it to. I haven't looked into it, but they were saying that there's some theories that it will take place in California. So there could be a loose connection there, if that ends up being the case.
Maybe.
So who knows? We'll see. It was a fun game though. It's a great Spider-Man experience. It balances Peter and Spider-Man pretty well, I think, and it gives you everything you would want, I think, in a Spider-Man game. So
I hope the Square Enix game the Square Enix Avengers game is being written by the same guys who do Kingdom Hearts, so it won't come out when it does. It's all gonna, instead of being like a superhero film. It's all going to be about like light and darkness and like say and like really abstract things. We're going to have 100 different games on 15 different fucking platforms in order to get the fucking story. So instead of Tony being like, you know, it's my responsibility. I built these suits and I need to protect the world with them. It's going to be more like, the light has comes down from the sun and we must protect it with all our strength from the dark. I don't know why his Lord.
And then Goofy shows up.
Yeah.
Gorge.
And then Spider-Man shows up, and he brings in all of the light, and he's like, "Mr. Stark, I feel too good."
And then
he just explodes into light, and he kills the bad guy.
Yeah. Anyway, hopefully they make another one. That'd be cool as well.
Yeah,
Nice.
I think more than anything, this game shows that EA absolutely should not be in charge of Star Wars. Disney should just take that away from them and give it to a better studio.
Yeah.
A better developer.
Anyone else, really. I would... Devolver Digital. That would be... Yes, a questionable decision, but better than EA.
Spider-Man is an entirely single-player game with no microtransactions at all.
Mm-hmm. Like God of War before, and
yes.
Horizon Zero Dawn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Speaking about and the Tomb Raider games, I don't believe the Tomb Raider games had any microtransactions in them. As far as I'm aware, they were always just pure.
No, they did. Rise did, and this one
did they?
does as
this
well.
One does?
I think. Does this still have the cards?
I don't think so because it doesn't have a survival mode anymore.
Okay. Well, Rise had like cards that you could buy.
I don't. I think you could buy them.
Yeah.
But you really didn't have to.
No. It was a Microsoft exclusive thing at first.
Oh, okay.
It's the same type of thing that Halo 5 does with the cards.
Oh.
This game learned from its mistakes where the first game had multiplayer that nobody played, so they didn't put it in the second one.
Yeah.
And then the second one had like a challenge endurance mode that nobody played, so they didn't put it in this one. So this actually, as far as I'm aware,
what does this have that nobody plays?
They have they're adding extra tombs now.
That nobody's gonna play.
No,
So people
good.
will absolutely play that.
As long as
I'll
it's
play
like
it.
actual single player content that enhances the campaign, that's great. Keep doing that. Don't add like, superfluous content like a challenge mode or a survival mode or multiplayer, because it just takes away from where the game really shines. Aaron, before we go to get more into Tomb Raider, what did you think of Spider-Man when you finished it?
Again, it was good. I really enjoyed the story. It was a fun game. It was fairly lengthy. I don't know how long it was. Probably 10 or 20 hour story, I suppose, if you just hammer through the story. But my only main gripe with it was that the last, like the end of the game felt too short.
Yeah.
It felt very rushed. Which I suppose in some ways was fine because there's like an element where it just gets like super fucking repetitive and then it hammers on the repetitiveness and you're like, oh my Jesus Christ. But then it's like, oh man, ended games, we're flying through all this shit, it's done. Like, oh, okay, alright.
Would you go on record as saying this is the greatest Spider-Man game ever made?
Maybe, yeah. I mean, there hasn't really been a huge roster of good Spider-Man games, so I think this one captures Peter the best. Like traditional Spider-Man story, comic book storylines that you know, I think it does all of those justice. So, yeah, probably. It's probably one of the better superhero games as well.
She's gotten every type of hepatitis, by the way, being in that water.
Oh, probably, yeah.
Stop tucking your hair, Laura.
Huh?
You're still swimming. Stop wiping the water out of your hair.
It's just real fucking greasy and gross. I don't know how to get out of here.
She's putting slime in her hair.
She does that when she's just like in her own hotel room for hours. Just
My hair's getting dry.
So do you want to talk about this game?
The hell is this game, Aaron?
Yeah, Shadow of Tomb Raider, a sequel to Rise. End of the trilogy. Hopefully they make more of these, but I think they were asking Camilla Luddington whether or not she wanted to do another one, and she said it was a hard decision. And I think that's because Her idea is that they ended the trilogy quite well, so I don't know that she wants to do another one.
They don't need her. They'll just get Alicia Vikander to do it.
I think Camilla also said she'd be interested in seeing a Tomb Raider game that like takes place after Lara, like maybe not about Lara. So I don't know how that works because it's always been Lara, and it should fucking totally just be Lara. But
Yeah. Well, you know what? I'd rather them do that than change Lara.
the fuck do I get out of here? Yeah,
If they
fair,
want
I
to
guess.
go the whole
Oh, yeah,
diversity
if-
route, I'd rather they...
Wasn't it back that way that you came and you went underwater and you squeezed through?
Yeah, but I'm trying to figure out how to get out this way. And
Uh,
I don't know. I'm fucking totally
Instead
blind.
of the assholes that created Lara coming out and being like, well, in our mind, she was always black transsexual. Instead of them doing that, why not just make a
Whatever.
game with a different character?
Yeah, I would. Yeah, I'd rather they have it be about somebody else than change who Lara is.
yeah, I'd be down for that. But that's the problem a lot of people had in comics. They say they've made Thor a woman. No, they haven't. They've just introduced a female character who is taking on the persona of Thor. But male Thor is still very active in this story. And in fact, he's like one of the driving points of the story. We're like, they made Spider-Man black. No, it's another character who's taken on the moniker of Spider-Man because they killed off Peter Parker. And now he's actually part of the main universe because, surprise, Miles Morales is cool.
Miles is in this game.
Sweet.
I don't think as Spider-Man, but he is in the game.
Oh no! I like Miles Morales. He's like,
He seems like a neat dude.
I want him to be in more Spider-Man stories as Spider-Man's sidekick to show Peter Parker's age and maturity while also having the ability. So like with Miles Morales, you could have that same little kid. Kind of, awkward nerd high school students, trying to scrape by, and then so you still have that aspect of the story. And then with Peter, he's grown because he's been in Spider-Man for 30 years or whatever, and he's, much wiser and he's a mentor, but he still obviously has his own struggles with, power.
It's almost like you should play the
responsibility and all that.
game.
You should play the game.
I haven't gotten it yet.
Get the body game, Adam.
We're gonna spoil the game for you right
I
now.
don't always have, unlike you two, I don't have money I can just casually blow on a 4K TV.
I don't have 4K TV.
You say that like you're referring to a specific example of when I was buying a 4K TV on a whim.
Anyway, this game, I'm really enjoying it. I mean, it feels like it hasn't been that long since Rise came out, but it's been 3 years.
Yeah,
Has it?
you feel that way because you just finished playing Rise.
Yeah, I played both of them again, but at the same time, it still doesn't. It doesn't feel like it's been that long, but I mean, I guess it has been.
We're old as shit.
So, I've been super fucking pumped for this game, and I'm really enjoying it. I think.
What would you do if you were just like, this was your village, you're just like hanging out here and being like, yeah, it's a nice day today, and all of a sudden this like white woman comes out from the jungle, beat the shit with a bow and arrow and a hatchet, like 2 hatchets hanging off her side and rope and a
You're
gun.
like, oh, there they go again, those damn colonials.
Oh, please no.
I like some of the. Oh, okay. Well, fuck that guy, I guess. I like some of the
Watch
traders.
out!
They're like, hey, how's it going? We work here at this missionary. You want to help out around the church? And you're like, okay, sure, whatever. You talk to them. They look at their inventory and they got like a Spaz 12. You're like, what? Wait a minute. What did you mean by help?
We've never had outside contact. Would you like to buy the Spaz 12?
But I think I guess I'm most of the way through the story now. Unfortunately.
They say in perfect English.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
I
there's
like-
actually there's
I like
an option.
the idea of a culture, like an uncontact civilization somewhere in the middle of the Amazon rainforest that so happens to have also developed the exact same English and have also developed the Spaz 12, but those are the only 2 correlations. Everything else is different.
There is an option in the game to have everyone speak in their native tongue,
Oh, that's good.
but there are subtitles, I guess, because Lara understands the language.
That's really cool. More games should do that.
Yes, I agree.
The issue with it is Lara responds to them in English, and they understand it. So I was kind of like, that's. I mean, it's a
Camilla
solid.
Luddington, what are you doing?
It's a solid attempt, but it got a little weird.
Yeah, Camilla didn't want to learn Peruvian.
I get. Well, I mean, she could have just read the
What's
lines.
the language called?
I do believe they speak Spanish.
Spanish.
See, I'd also bring up subtitles for this.
Yeah, I think Peruvian is probably fine too, because Mexican Spanish is different than Spanish.
Well, it's the
Spanish.
difference between like French Canadian or Canadian French and French French.
Yeah.
It's
French, but a French guy from France and a French guy from Montreal you're going to speak, it's still French technically.
It's more,
but it is pretty different.
It's more the difference between American English and UK English in terms of like different words and different spellings for some stuff, a few grammar changes.
Right. And I would imagine Mexican Spanish and Peru Spanish is also fairly different.
Probably. I wouldn't say fairly different, but probably unique enough to be its own subset. So it reminds me of the episode of South Park where the guinea pigs are attacking.
Yeah.
And he says, "Sir, we can't find. We've researched it, but there's no country on Earth." It's like, where do the Peruvian flute bands come from? Well, we've researched it, sir, but there's no country on Earth called Peruvian.
Researched it.
Yeah. He says, according to Wikipedia, the guinea pig is. It's like some dude in the Pentagon looking it up on Wikipedia.
Anyway, I would say from what I played of this game that it's my favorite of the three.
Oh yeah.
Oh really?
What's the plot? Is the plot? Don't tell me. Explain what the plot is. But
please,
is it good?
Please spoil the plot for me.
You've
already spoiled
you get the
everything
gist
else.
of it from the trailers. I won't go too deep into it because I don't want to.
I haven't really watched the trailers.
Clarify. Yeah, just as well. Lara goes to Cozumel, look for a thing, and then she finds a thing, and she's led to Peru. So there you go.
All right.
But I think that and I was mentioning this before Shadow came out to Andrew and I guess the guys in our chat thing. Something that's been missing from the first two games in this reboot is the kind of the classic Tomb Raider kind of just dick around and solve puzzles. Because there's been a pretty heavy amount of like narrative and Lara kind of helping locals wherever she ends up going.
Yeah.
The
first two have pretty much put Lara in a survival scenario.
Yeah.
I don't know. This one seemed like it's more or less her choosing to go somewhere to find artifacts, sort of thing.
Yeah, and she still kind of ends up getting into that survivor scenario.
Probably
but
a plane crash or something.
It's much less of like a pivotal point to this game.
Yeah.
There's a chunk of it where you're like, okay, here's where it turns into the classic Tomb Raider. Where the fuck is this cave at? Like not classic, but like the older the two games, and you're like, oh man, all right, well I guess there goes all that exploration stuff. But I would say the first 2 or 3 hours is just jungle, and you're like, all right, this is classic Tomb Raider, and like it has some of the best sound design in a game. I highly recommend playing it with a pair of good headphones.
Surround sound 7.1.
Surround sound, or just really good headphones. Because it has like almost ASMR levels of audio where when you're in the jungle, like the cracking of something or wind blowing is like, it's almost like there's different elements of the sound that are three-dimensional rather than just like a distant audio.
You can hear Lara's boob sweat.
Yeah, you can hear it flick all over the place. And there's also like elements of the music that are part of the environment. So like a song will start playing like an ambient music track, but as you're like turning around and exploring, it changes. You can hear like where the sound is coming from. So it's really well done. It's very interesting and gives a bit more depth to the jungle part of it. Cool. And also,
do they play "Welcome to the Jungle" by Guns N' Roses?
Oh yeah, absolutely. That's a given.
Welcome to the jungle.
And so, and it's almost like it's not even a level. Like
is that child abuse?
Sure, why not?
You're under arrest.
She's just drowning her kids. Don't worry about it. A lot of the game is very rich jungle. It doesn't feel like a jungle level and then you move on. It feels like this is the big dense jungle. It's really good, and has some of the more iconic moments in the game, I think, than the other two. It very much feels like classic Tomb Raider.
Neato.
So it's good. A lot of it, like it's still pretty heavy on narrative in some parts, but when you get to a puzzle section, it's just puzzle. And there's other options as well if you go into like gameplay. So there's difficulty. So like you have your traditional difficulty where you have, combat enemies have more health, that sort of thing. You can put that on easy if you want. But then there's also new difficulty levels where exploration, and if you've played the other Tomb Raider games and even a lot of like adventure games now, the character will say, maybe I should do this, or you'll have like a lot of games will have like rope or paint in the Tomb Raider games to kind of show you where you can jump and climb. Exploration difficulty on hard, that turns all that off.
Cool.
So it's just rock walls. You can kind of got to figure out where to go yourself. And the puzzle difficulty, that's kind of Lara will give herself hints as like different things she could do or where she needs to go or what she needs to solve.
Maybe I should pull that block.
Yeah, like I got to move that crate or something like that. On hard, that turns it off. If she says anything to herself, it's like, how can I solve this? She doesn't give herself any hints.
That's pretty, that's a really good way of doing hints, of having the character say it, like, kind of out loud, like they're thinking to themselves, being like, maybe I should move that block, as opposed to a bit of text coming up, being like, you gotta move the block, stupid.
Yeah.
Or, like, it, like, glows orange. I hate when video game developers are like, here's a puzzle, we're really proud of it, but here's how you solve it.
And I would assume if you set this on easy, it also does that.
Yeah,
it's like, hey, here's how you solve the puzzle. But I'm glad you're able to turn that off.
I think more games should have dynamic difficulties in terms of like being able to switch, like change up various things. Because how cool would it be to have a Mass Effect game where the enemies are there's a lot of enemies. Kind of like what the Skulls did for Halo. There's a lot of enemies, but they're very weak, so you feel even more like a badass. So you know what I mean. So you're just mowing through enemies.
Yeah. The game also, it's got a photographer mode, which is kind of neat. I wish it had a few more settings, but that's just me. It also has a few other settings for, like, repeated button presses where you gotta mash it to, like, break stuff. Yeah. You can turn that on. You can just say hold. Yeah, you can just say hold. Spider-Man is good for that as well, actually. Yeah. It has a lot of options to, like, turn shit off.
Most Sony-published titles are pretty good for the whole, what's it called? Accessibility settings.
Yeah, like quick time events. Like in Spider-Man, the quick time events, you can turn that off if you want. Have it just be a cutscene.
Yeah.
Which
really?
Is nice. So all the button prompt shit, you can turn that off.
I'm definitely doing that when I get home.
And the mash button stuff, you can turn that off. So that's good. I guess my gripes with this game is, parts of it are really fucking beautiful. You're like, holy shit, this looks really good. Other parts, you're like, this kind of just looks like Rise of Tomb Raider. Rise still looks good.
I'm seeing it here. This looks like garbage.
I honestly, when it came out, I thought that Rise was the prettiest looking game on consoles up to that point, and then obviously it was kind of blown away by Horizon Zero Dawn and
newer Uncharted and stuff.
Yeah, but I thought Rise was a really great looking game.
Rise is a beautiful game.
Yeah, and this game still looks really good, but there's some areas where the lighting gets a little.
How come you're not running ray tracing?
Because I don't think it's a graphical option on GTX cards.
That might not be. It might come in an update.
Maybe, I don't know. There's no like
in like a couple weeks when the RTX cards come out.
I don't know if there's a. I don't know. I don't know what setting it would be under if it's part of that. Like there's contact shadows, but I don't think that it ends up having to do with it. Anyway, I don't know.
No, that is it.
Is it?
Yeah, read the description.
Well, it just says Ray March. Oh, okay. Generates additional sharp shadow surfaces on caster and ray marching. Okay, I guess that's it then. I assumed there would be a ray tracing option. I didn't.
Are you running ray tracing right now?
I guess so. I don't know. Anyway, I don't have a.
Why do you need the new cards?
I don't know. The game looks fine. So, let's see if we can find a spot heavy in shadow and then turn that off. Let's see what that looks like.
Anyway, while Aaron's doing that, are we done talking about this for now?
I was just gonna say my biggest gripes with the game is like the animation. Like
her running animation is a bit weird.
It's a little robotic, and there's some like a lot of this shit looks kind of dumb. There's also some parts where like you can't help it, but you have to follow a character, and Lara walks at a set pace. But if you hold like all the way forward on the stick, she has she wants to run because you're pressing all the way forward, but she has like a weird loop. There's some weird, like, I don't know, I guess the animation system is looking dated at this point.
Yeah.
All three games are very similar in their mechanics and the way they play. So
I would assume they're all running on the same engine.
More than likely, yeah. And I mean, this game plays and feels a lot like Rise, so I feel like they just made a bunch of new levels and tacked
Rise
everything.
played and felt a lot like the
yeah
OG, not the OG Tomb Raider, but the
reboot. Yeah,
I thought it was really weird how with Rise they decided to go and do like an ancient Roman like motion control thing. I thought it was really weird.
Rise, RYSE.
Oh, haha. Other than that, I love this game. It has probably one of the most satisfying, badass moments
Really?
that I can remember in recent games.
I'm looking forward to
Do
that.
you turn into a robotic T-Rex and then breathe fire in a bunch of robotic insects? Because if it's not that, then it's not.
No, but the game...
You think Aaron's overselling it if it's not that?
Yeah.
I'm not... Well, I mean, maybe I'm overselling it, but I really... There's very few times in a game when it kind of hints at something and you're like, you know what? That's kind of a cool concept. I wonder what that would be like. And then the game does it and you're like, oh.
Is it the two pistols?
No.
Oh.
It's kind of like how in Fall of Cybertron they were like Grimlocks in the game. You're like, it'd be really cool if I get to play as Grimlock and be a giant robotic fire-breathing T-Rex, and then they let you do it, and you're like, this is the greatest thing that ever happened in my life. Everything else after this will be a disappointment.
It's on that same level for me, and
was.
also paired with the music in this game is like... Because the music is really good. I think that the soundtrack in this game really paints the picture. It completes the atmosphere of this game for me.
Well, I might have to rush through Spider-Man to get to this.
Well, I mean, maybe I am overselling it. For me, I really fucking enjoyed that.
I'll never forgive you if you're
story.
overselling it.
You'll probably enjoy it a lot as well. The music
as a
is
Tomb
so
Raider
good.
fan, you think I'll enjoy it?
Oh yeah, absolutely. This is of the three, I think, the closest to the original Tomb Raiders.
You know, can you just walk forward, Aaron? Not run, but just walk for me.
Yeah.
Be funny if you could like digitally insert C-3PO's servo movements into her like.
I don't think that looks robotic.
No, it does look horrible, but it's just
Look at those glutes.
Said they
Yeah,
were.
Look at those robotic glutes.
I think it looks fine.
Oh, there you go.
It's really the animation changes that look a little janky. So when she changes from one animation set to the other, that's when you start to notice the
And also
seams.
like the terrain when it goes up and down, she kind of hot like that.
Yeah.
It's a little
Anyway,
strange.
while Aaron looks for shadows, THQ Nordic has bought your favorite game of all time, Adam. Kingdoms of Amalur.
I thought Rory was going to be on, so that's why I put it on there.
Oh.
So there
And
you
what's
go.
the other one? Lift?
Wait, hang on a minute. Are you telling me that
Or
THQ Nordic has bought an extremely samey fucking generic high fantasy realm number 321?
Rory really
where the
likes
Frost Ale. I don't give a fuck what Rory likes.
It was good for
We're
what
getting
I
to see
played.
the color blue as far as I'm aware. He can.
I keep forgetting Rory is colorblind.
Let's see what these crazy guys selling crackers has in his inventory.
Crackers?
You know, he had a bunch of crackers on his wall.
No.
There. Oh, here we go. Handguns. Okay.
Just the general. That's why they call it the general store, Aaron. I like, yeah. I don't know. I could never get into the world because it seemed way too much like World of Warcraft. And I think that World of Warcraft is a very generic-looking fantasy realm, whereas this is high fantasy. The orcs come from the Frostwolf tribe, and they come down from the ice storm coast, and sally forth into the plains of dragons, where they fight with the Phoenix Knights.
I think you're just pretentious because you're a DM and you like your world better than
Well,
other
my world
people's.
is better.
Wow. Pretentious much?
No, I think my world's better than fucking the Elder Scrolls as well, but that's,
The mud looks pretty good.
Yeah, it does. That's actually the best looking mud I've ever seen in a video game.
Clearly you've never played Spin Tires.
It's got,
You got me there.
That's pretty good mode. I guess the other thing as well, a small mention, is there are frame rate issues in this game, regardless of graphical settings.
No, it's just because you're playing on a 1080 Ti and not an RTX 2080.
Do you think the people up standing on that church or whatever are looking down at Laura because like she is our one savior, and then like she's just Laura tromping around in the mud, getting like covered in dirt?
No, they're like
rolling
white
around in the
people.
mud. Let's go to Cozumel. Check out
Laura
the shadows there.
Laura ate one she wasn't supposed to eat the blueberries, but that's what she ate, and all of a sudden she's tripping balls, and she's like, ah! This whole thing is a flashback, and who's her friend? The kind of
Jonah.
Jonah is like fanning her. Is like, Laura, you're tripping balls right now. Put the gun down.
Jonah Hill is in this?
Yep. That's
wow.
him.
Jonah Hill plays the villain.
What's the other thing? THQ Nordic bought Kingdoms of Amalur and ML? What is this? Aaron.
I don't know why I'm trying to control.
I can't remember what is it?
I was trying to bring my cursor over there.
Oh, Copernicus.
Why isn't the cursor moving?
What?
Copernicus.
Copernicus.
The MMORPG Copernicus that they were also working on.
Oh.
As in,
It's the Kingdom of Amalur MMO that never got released.
Yeah, I thought Kingdoms of Amalur was supposed to be an MMO to begin with.
No, Kingdoms of Amalur was the single player, and they were also making an MMO. But
that was back when everybody wanted to kind of jump in on...
Everyone was like, Kingdoms of Amalur, yeah!
No, everyone was like, World of Warcraft is making a lot of money. Let's also put out an MMO. And then they realized, hang on, not only is making an MMO quite hard, and we can't just kind of cash grab this, but also the market's already kind of dominated by fucking World of Warcraft. Like, we won't let that stop us, and it did stop them right in their tracks. And then EA was like, we'll never do that again. Battle Royale, get it in our games. Call of Duty's gonna be a Battle Royale.
More like Battle for Al.
Lure.
Who's Al?
I don't know why you were going for that.
I was gonna be like Battle for All, but I put a weird accent on the all and made it Al.
Oh, there you go.
Call me Al.
Anyway,
they should make a Battle for Al. You gotta protect Al.
Like from
It's
Married
like
with
King
Children.
of the Hill, except you gotta protect a guy.
It's a Married with Children game.
Yeah.
Or I was gonna go with a Big Gay Al from South Park.
Jesus Christ.
Jesus Christ.
He's not around much anymore.
Big Gay Al?
I think they got rid of Big Gay Al.
No. I like Big Gay Al and Mr. Slave.
I don't think they're relevant. I don't think they're as relevant anymore.
Probably not, no. I mean, they do, you can't change characters. I mean, like, Butters is a relevant character now, so. Anyway, we're getting off topic. So, I don't care about this news in this... Alright. I don't care about this news. Those fish were above the water there for a second.
Oh. I don't know, whatever.
What don't you care about, Adam?
Kingdoms of Amalur. I mean, I thought that was a...
I thought you were looking at the next one. I was going to be like, you little bitch.
Oh. Okay, well, what's the next one?
I finished Kingdom Come Deliverance.
Oh, really?
I don't care about that one either, but go ahead.
Why don't you care about it?
It's not my game.
What's not your game about it?
It's too simulator-y. So I can appreciate what the game is trying to do in terms of being a very historically accurate, or at least trying to be as historically accurate as they can be, with respects to the setting and the timescape. Yep. I can certainly respect it, but that's not really my thing. I would prefer
fantasy.
Yeah, not that I come from a history background, so it's not like I don't appreciate history or anything like that. But I don't know. It never really grabbed me, and also I really, really didn't like the combat system in that game or how it looked. Like, it looked very, very hard, and the one time I tried it, admittedly, it wasn't for very long. I couldn't seem to get the hang of it. So, wasn't really my scene. I bet you got to do something with that cart and pull it off.
I already did it.
Oh.
So, Kingdom Come Deliverance is one of the greatest games I've ever played.
Fuck you, Adam.
Okay.
That's cool.
I'll freely admit I haven't.
Have you finished it?
Oh yeah.
Oh, okay, cool.
It took me 60 hours to finish.
Oh, jeez, another 60 hours.
Kind of lengthy.
Yeah.
I remember when
I
Call of
rushed
Duty
through a fair chunk of it as well.
I remember when Call of Duty Infinite had a great story in like 4 hours.
Oh shit.
This is by far one of the best RPG experiences. Maybe not in terms of how much you can affect the story, but in terms of actual like minute-to-minute gameplay in terms of how your skills affect what you do and how you can improve your skills.
Yeah.
It works extremely well. It's a challenging game. The combat definitely, like, leveling up your skill isn't enough to just win at combat. You also have to actually practice and learn how to be good at the combat.
Yeah.
It's not Skyrim where you just swing the sword. Like you do have to incorporate like very extremely basic levels of actual sword play. You've got to familiarize yourself a little bit with actual what's it called? Like what's the medieval sword arts called?
You mean
Like-
chivalry, dueling,
Like
I guess
sparring.
dueling.
martial arts? It didn't really have a name. It
But
was just-
nowadays there is like a martial arts for.
yeah, but it wasn't called that back
I know,
then.
no,
It was
it's
just
not
like it was
now.
just like this is how you
I guess-
fucking fight with a sword.
I guess it would be dueling. So yeah, that's
I think
cool.
it's just called medieval or like sword fighting or medieval
Sword fighting.
Medieval martial arts is what it's called now.
Yeah.
I believe, or middle age martial arts, whatever they call it. It takes place in the year in the 1500s, correct? 1548 or something like that.
Something like that, yeah.
I think this was the 1400s.
So the
Maybe.
Italian Renaissance would be on the go. So this would have been the very end of classical antiquity, and it would be coming into the modern era. But it would not have yet reached this part of the world because I believe it takes place in Hungary, right? Hungary or Austria, or is it Germany?
Bohemia.
Bohemia. Regardless, it would not have. The Renaissance would not have reached it yet.
Yeah.
Um,
Cannons exist
yeah, they would.
at this time. They're just not in this part of the world. It is brought up.
Yeah, because I believe the only people that have cannons are the Italians and maybe like the Holy Roman Empire, like some parts of the Holy Roman Empire. I'm not 100% sure about the spread of cannons, although I do know that they were starting. This was when they were becoming more prevalent, and this is the end of the knight and the mounted. That kind of that era of warfare of swords and stuff, and after this you see a very slow but steady reliance on firearms and cannons and stuff until about by the end of the Napoleonic Wars they're pretty much phased out. You really only use swords and cavalry charges would really only last for another 50 years.
Yeah. I enjoyed the game quite a bit. I would agree.
Did you finish it?
No, I didn't finish it.
Oh.
It didn't build enough for me to the point where I got. I mean, maybe it builds more. I don't know.
It definitely does. Once you start doing more of the main quest lines, it does build. I will say it doesn't clue it up. It doesn't clue up the story. It leaves things untied up. What's the word I'm looking for?
Untied.
Untied.
Loose ends.
It has loose ends. Some stuff it does tie up, other things it doesn't. I don't know if it's leaving itself open for a sequel or if it's going to be concluded in future DLC. I know they're working on a lot of DLC for this.
Are they?
Yeah, it just takes a long time because they're not a AAA publisher.
Yeah.
They're a very small team.
Yeah.
I mean, I think even though it's not my cup of tea, I am very happy that this game is so successful and it seems to be running so well because it proves that like smaller teams can produce AAA level stuff without any of the faffing about.
This shouldn't be compared to like Skyrim. This should be compared to like Gone Home or what's another indie title?
I would compare. Well, you could probably compare it to Hellblade. Senua's Sacrifice in terms of like the size of the team, but the quality of the game in terms.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, probably.
Again, I don't. It's just not particularly my cup of tea. I think I would have actually preferred it because I'm not. Even though I really like medieval history and I like studying and that sort of thing, I don't necessarily think I really want to live in the mundanity of it. Like I like medieval history for the battles and like the high level politics, not necessarily for the average citizen, because that's really how you start out the game.
It's how you start off, but
I think that's what builds it, though.
You do get into the high level politics and the big battles,
and I get that, and I think it's important that the game does that because it allows for proper pacing.
Yeah.
And a progression of
Good immersion
scale.
and good context.
It makes you appreciate some of that later stuff by having you start off as a dirt-eating peasant.
Absolutely, and I'm not saying that they shouldn't have it, but I'm not sure if I'm willing to invest the 20 or 30 hours of gameplay it would take to kind of get to that point. You know what I mean? Because I'm just, and it's not just the setting. The setting is a very small part of it. But I really wasn't the biggest fan of the combat system, and I think because it's such...
I think if you spent a little more time learning how it actually works, you'd really appreciate it.
Maybe.
Because I didn't like it until it clicked. And when it clicked, I was like, okay, this makes sense, and it's awesome. But until you reach that point, you're like, oh, great, combat, this is a chore.
Yeah.
But, you know, when it works, it works. Also, for some stupid reason, they decided not to have a crosshair with the bow. So you have a crosshair on your screen at all times until you take out a bow, and then the crosshair disappears. So it's like, oh, it's supposed to be immersive. You got to learn how to use a bow. And it's like, fuck that. So I just installed a mod that made the crosshair stay.
Yeah.
And that made the whole arrow shooting experience much better.
The vanilla save system and like bow thing, the lock picking was also kind of dog shit.
I figured out lock picking too. That's something else that had to click. There's a lot in this game. It's like it does not hold your hand at all. You have to actually learn how to play
I don't think the lock picking system was good. Period, because it was too random. Like the way it worked, it was like a dial basically. And there was an item somewhere on this dial. So when you started lockpicking, or maybe I'm thinking pickpocketing, or maybe it was both, I don't know. One or the other.
You're thinking of pickpocketing.
Lockpicking. Yeah, never mind.
Lockpicking, you rotate a thing and you move your mouse.
Lockpicking is not bad. The pickpocketing is dog shit.
Yeah.
Because when you start pickpocketing, it like fills out this bar, and you have a specific amount of time. But at any moment, they can discover you, and you have no way of knowing. But then you have to go somewhere into that dial to get the item you want, and then go back out again to guarantee that you'll get it without alerting them. But they can also just be randomly alerted at any point.
Yeah.
So it's like, why am I bothering? And also it's an RPG in many respects, but it also isn't. Because it wants you to play the game the way it was intended. And
so it's got a main storyline, and you can change things a little bit, but more or less you have to play as Henry of Skalitz, and you're playing as the character that they define. It's even more linear than The Witcher is. Yeah. And The Witcher has a defined character you're playing as, although you can affect Geralt's storyline fairly... extreme.
It's kind of, I would say that Geralt's storyline, in terms of playing Geralt, it's almost more rewarding than playing just a character that you create yourself in a sense, because even though there are certain things Geralt just won't do, and that's kind of determined by the story. But anything else is like he could do this or he could do that. So technically, nothing is out of character for Geralt. Because that's one of the problems I have with.
Also, the Witcher game series starts off with amnesia, which is the RPG stereotype, and you're really defining a Geralt that had already seen that you had potentially already read through all his books. So the games take place afterwards, right? Yeah. So you could potentially be starting that series knowing exactly what Geralt would say and do, but you could also change it up a fair bit because of his amnesia, and there's a lot of roleplay potential there as well. Good job dying.
I don't know how I'm supposed to get out of there because my flashlight wasn't on.
One of the
there we go.
How to word this? Is Ciri a character made up specifically for the games, or was she?
Or are we gonna get here? That's later on.
What?
We're talking about Ciri?
No, in The Witcher.
Yeah, we're talking about Ciri. It's on the list.
Oh, is it?
Oh, yeah. We'll just talk about it now.
Okay.
No, Ciri's in the books.
Okay.
She's like the main character in the books.
Oh, I thought Geralt was the main character.
No, Geralt's more of a side character.
Oh, interesting.
Geralt is like the... No, he's really more of a side character. I was gonna say
is it kind of like he's like Gimli or Legolas, kind of that kind of thing, where he's like very present.
I think he's more involved than either of those.
Okay.
He's more like Aragorn to series Frodo.
Oh, that makes sense. I like that.
Yeah.
I should read the books. They're on my list. I just haven't.
I haven't read all of them, but the ones I have read are really good. They are translated from Polish, so bear that in mind. Some things are written in a way where, had it been written natively in English, it would have read differently. So some sentences feel a little off, but it almost adds to the experience in a weird way. But yeah, they're really good books.
Anyway, what you think about Siri?
Anyway, we all know that The Witcher is getting a not a TV show, but a Netflix show.
Yeah. Like a TV show, but better because of the fucking ads.
Is she
By the way, speaking of that,
African-American
apparently Netflix released a
transvestite?
number of different surveys.
Funny you should say that, Aaron.
Their customers and non-customers said, would you continue to pay for Netflix if we introduced ads? And overwhelmingly, like 75 or 78% of people came back. Like overwhelmingly, were like, we will drop this service if you even think about bringing ads in.
If they start doing ads, then that's it.
I mean, there's no point. Why are you paying a $12 service? You know, so
you should be paying $20. God damn it.
Anyway,
But now you can pay extra to not get ads.
Yeah, hell yes. Anyway, so The Witcher is a very Polish thing.
Yes,
It's huge there. It's their
Lord of the Rings.
It's their Lord of the Rings. They're very, very proud of this property.
Oh shit!
They should
The
be.
Witcher 2 was given to President Obama when he visited.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, as like we're very proud of this. This is part of our culture.
And yet, when Matt Pat gives Undertale to the Pope, he gets shit. I heard his reasoning behind that, by the way. Did you hear about that story?
No.
So, in some sort of program, they picked a bunch of YouTubers to be cultural ambassadors between the internet and the Pope, because the Pope wanted to, meet with this generation of people and like talk about like not necessarily faith, but more just like how to build a better world. And so everyone kind of gave the Pope a gift, and some people, some of the gifts were stupid. And a lot of people gave Matt Pat shit for his gift because it was a digital key for the game Undertale. And Matt Pat and everyone's like, the Pope's never gonna play this fucking game. He doesn't even have a PC. And Matt Pat's like, that's not the point. The point was that the whole story of Undertale is that you're traveling in this very kind of dark and claustrophobic place, in this horrible environment, but you end up making it through the game by making friends and not killing people. That's how you get the good ending, and I figured that was a very symbolic game to give.
Friendship was the real New Game Plus.
Yeah, pretty much.
Oh, great, there's a plane crash. Way to spoil the game for me, man.
That's exactly what New Game Plus is in Undertale. It's fucking friendship, or the exact opposite of friendship, which is genocide. And so, anyway, I get his reasoning, and I think it was a very cool symbolic.
The real way to play that game is to kill everything in sight. That's the way to get the real good ending.
So anyway, so Witcher's really big in Poland.
Really big in Poland.
Yes.
Poland, predominantly white. Correct? You would say?
I would say
overwhelmingly white population.
Probably.
Actually.
I don't know what it's like now, because I don't know what their policy on, because EU has brought in a lot of immigration. Both
the
in terms
only
of the
two
Middle East.
Polish people I know are absolutely white. So 100% of Poland is white.
In fact, there was a big controversy when The Witcher 3 actually came out. There were no people of color. People of color were added in the DLC, but in the initial release, like, the world of The Witcher is a fictionalized Poland.
Yeah.
Right?
That'd be like
even more so than The Lord of the Rings is a fictionalized
West Europe. That's something I didn't like about that fucking frog is dead, and you probably got a poison arrow now. That was the big problem I have with people complaining about that in Kingdom Come Deliverance, is that people were like, there's not enough diversity in the game. It's like, it's supposed to be a historical recreation of East Europe.
But you didn't hear that one Twitter historian was like, well, potentially there would have been a black guy here, so you should populate this world with black people.
Honestly, I would have been way less upset if there was a bunch of Muslims wandering around, because the Ottoman Empire would have been, at this point, pushing right up against the border of
There are non-whites in the game, by the way.
Yeah, so
the Cumans, They're invaders. I forget which country.
Probably
they're from.
probably the Ottoman Empire.
I think they're right.
Yeah.
I think you are right.
Because the Ottoman Empire at that point would have been pushing up.
I just finished the game. I'm horrible at remembering this stuff.
Is that the Mr. Clean guy?
Yeah. Anyway, yeah. They're in the game. They're the invaders in this game. So.
Yeah, as they would have been historically. The
There
Ottoman
are
Empire.
non-whites in Kingdom Come Deliverance. Just saying.
By the way, everyone should read into the history of the Ottoman Empire. The Ottoman Empire was the shit.
Accurate.
Really cool government, really cool civilization.
You can rock their like face masks and stuff too in the game.
Is that the Janissaries?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're cool. The Janissaries were actually Christians.
I don't think they're called that. It's just called cumin helmet.
Oh, okay. Because the Janissaries were originally, when the Ottomans invaded into Christendom, which was what Europe was called, when they took over states, they took all the young Christian boys, they brought them back to Istanbul. Mm-hmm. They made them into, basically, they trained them so very young boys. They took them when they were very, very young, and then they indoctrinated them into the society and made them into elite soldiers. To fight and be only loyal to the emperor of the Ottoman Empire. So basically, he was creating his own super soldiers. Not that they were like supernatural or anything, or had like super enhancements, but they were trained from a very young age to act as his personal guard and to be his elite unit that only he controlled. And that's very cool.
Kingdom Come dives heavy into Christianity like that.
Oh yeah,
like just the really zealous nature of Christianity at that time. Mm-hmm. I know there was one side mission where there's a rumor of a group of heretics in this area, and so you can go to their house and like sneak into their attic and listen to them pray at night. And it's just ever so slightly different sect of Christianity. Like it's like 99% the same, but because of that 1%, they're considered heretics and they should burn.
Yeah.
And so you have to decide then whether or not to turn them in.
Did you turn them in?
Like I chose not to turn them in. I told to warn them that some guy was in town looking for them. Anyway, when you go back and you explain to the guy that sent you on the quest, if you mention that, oh, they're of a different faith, he's like, but there's only one faith, and you get chewed out for it.
Oh.
For even suggesting that there might be a different faith.
I'm assuming they're all Roman Catholic.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's
just a really interesting touch, because if, like, the fact that it adheres so much to history and not like, well, there are lots of different faiths, but here in Bohemia, we choose to follow the Roman Catholic sect.
Yeah. No, at this point, the church... This was at the very height of the Christian church's power in terms of politics and control. Yeah. I mean, you could argue that, like, even in the 16th century it was, but, like, the 15th century, there's a reason he's called the Holy Roman Emperor. It's because he was seen as a defender of the faith by the Roman Church and a protector of Christendom, which at that time would have been Roman Catholicism, would not have been Eastern Orthodoxy, and I don't even think...
This is 1400s, not 15. This is like 14 no more.
Yeah, even more so. This would have been the very height.
Yeah.
We haven't gotten into the Lutheran Reformations yet, so the Roman Catholic Church is it in terms of power, in terms of Europe. Anyway, I can talk about history forever. I fucking love history, man.
Yeah, I love history too. Anyway, getting back to The Witcher. Where did we leave off?
You were talking about how it's a big
white people.
Big pride for Poland, and Poland is a predominantly white nation, which I
right, and The Witcher video games at least are shown as almost exclusively white cast. The people you see that aren't white come from a different part of the world, which makes sense.
Yeah, and
they have a different culture and all that. Anyway, there was a rumor. This is an uncontrolled rumor, but it unconfirmed rumor.
We can't stop it. It's out of control.
We got
it was kind of uncontrolled rumor as well, because it exploded online, and like we see all the time. So the rumor was that they put out a casting call for a BAME actress. So BAME stands for Black, Asian, or Minority Ethnic.
Oh.
To
I
play
think you misspelled blame.
to play the character of Siri.
Okay.
This is kind of a book spoiler, but the games also spoil the book, so I'll say it. Siri is the daughter of an emperor.
It's basically like the French Empire. That's
Yes,
because I got to that
she's-
point in the games. I never played I
Of
never
The
beat
Witcher 3, yeah.
But his accent was French, and the overall style of dress was very like Western Europe.
He didn't have a French accent.
Did he have
That
a French-
was what's his name? Who played?
But a lot of people in his court had French accents, correct?
I think it was just really posh English.
Maybe that's it. I might. It's been a while since I played the game, so I could be misremembering.
But like the style of their outfits was definitely. I'm seeing where you're coming from.
I'm thinking like 14th century, like Louis the 14th
Anyway.
style. Anyway,
The Emperor of Nilfgaard. Nilfgaard is the country, and they're literally referred to as the Black Ones because all their armor is black.
oh okay.
Anyway, so this casting call was rumored to be put out for an actress that was not white. A lot of Witcher fans didn't like this because it's, in their minds, it's changing the character like a fair amount.
It would also
And
change
especially people from Poland who
Yeah.
grew up with these stories, and they, I don't even want to compare this to be like, oh, it's like if Gandalf were black all of a sudden, because it's not even. It's like it's a much bigger change than
Now
it would be.
all I'm picturing is Morgan Freeman as Gandalf. That's fucking awesome.
I mean, you could do that. That would be
Well,
fine. But if you changed
here we
Siri,
are,
if you
Mashah.
changed Siri's race, you would also have to change the Nilfgaardian's race.
Yeah, it changes a lot about
It
the
changes
world. It's
way too much.
You could make it. Actually, would probably be easier making Geralt black because he has much less significant impact.
You know
on
what?
the
It
world.
would be.
It'd be like it's the difference between.
Or leave it as it is, because changing the race of an established character is kind of needless.
Yeah.
Technically, you're doing it only to appease diversity.
And that was the issue a lot of people had and were instantly called racist for.
Like, I'm not against diversity, but, make new characters. Don't change existing ones. Like if that's the case.
I can't.
Like we were saying earlier, don't change Lara, make a new Lara. Have a new character be the focus. Don't change an established character. So.
Yeah, and I mean, by doing that, by potentially changing the race of this character, it's almost racist against Poles. Get what I'm saying? So it's.
I don't know if I go that far, but I can.
Why not?
I can certainly seeing it like why it would make a lot of Polish people upset.
I mean, if Poland, if this is the pride of Poland,
It's
like
this
you've
very
established,
cultural
this
thing
is
in
this
Poland.
is their thing. Changing it from being a Polish person to somebody
This is
that
an
isn't,
American production making the show.
it seems very. It just seems needless.
Also, Aaron, can you just go back for a second
All right.
to that room that you were in and go right up to the spikes?
Mm-hmm.
I like how this is such a video game thing where Laura's like, I can't get past these spikes, but she
Lara.
absolutely has a knife on her that could easily cut through those fucking ropes.
Also, she can absolutely just squeeze through that hole.
Oh, you could totally just fit through there or climb over it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I mean,
No, can't do it.
that bar is not very high right there.
Nope.
No.
Anyway, I just wanted
whatever.
to point out that's a silly little video game thing.
Yeah, video game logic, whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I mean, yeah, I mean, I wouldn't go as far as to say it's racist against Poles, but it's the same argument. Shoe on the other foot. It just seems like they're changing it to make it diverse, so people aren't like, there's only white people in this. Like they're doing it to avoid complaints, but get complaints anyway.
Yeah. The showrunner has also said she's quitting Twitter. Because that's what everybody does now when they're faced with any adversity on Twitter. Like, this is so... I'm getting so much hate. I'm quitting forever. So that happened. Also, people are being racist about this.
That's the problem.
Just saying.
That's the problem.
Like, there's also this really evil shit going on in the midst of this perfectly rational issue that's happening.
Can we take a step back from the issue of Siri for a second and focus on a larger issue I have with these types of conversations? You cannot. It seems like you cannot have a sensible. I mean, I don't know if you ever really could, considering what it was, what the nature of what we're talking about is. But you could not. It seems like you can't nowadays, at least, can't have a sensible conversation about casting of a character and the race of a character without blowing it up into a massive thing about race and bringing in very dogmatic people on both sides of the conversation. I will freely admit that I'm pretty liberal when it comes to my views. I'd like to see more diversity in all forms of media, in all forms of media. But I don't think that should come at the cost of changing I don't think that we need to go so far the other way in terms of changing going overboard and changing all of these pre-existing characters and changing aspects about them. Bring in new characters and try and make them just as popular. Or have do an Elseworlds thing. I'd be really cool. Actually, there's an Elseworlds comic in DC Comics where Superman is black and I think he's actually Obama, and it's a really cool what if thing.
Oh wow!
Yeah, I know. I just rolled with
He's actually Obama.
But there's other Elseworld tales where Superman is black or whatever, and it's Kal-El. It was the same person from Krypton, but he's just happens to be black, and it's a really cool Elseworld thing. But it doesn't change the main Superman. But at the same time, if you wanted to have a black character in a DC Comics who had the same powers as Superman, I can think of at least 3 different ways that you could go about doing that. A clone of Superman that or a that's what Steel was. Steel was an awesome character. Nobody talks about him.
Henry Cavill has stepped down from Superman.
Is it Cavill?
Or Cavill, whatever.
Oh man,
he's casted as Geralt, by the way.
Yeah, I know.
The Witcher. And he stepped down as Superman. Black. It's weird that we've ended up in this Witcher to Superman and back to Henry Cavill.
They're pretty good at that.
Yeah.
But anyway,
you know who's gunning for the spot now though?
Who?
Who played the villain in Black Panther?
Ben Affleck.
Who wants to play Superman?
Michael B. Jordan is gunning to play Superman now.
See, I don't like that because Superman's already been established in this movie continuity.
What if he dies? What if Henry kills him?
He already died!
I think you're just being racist now.
He already died. If you wanted to have a Superman TV show and say, this is not connected with any of the other properties, this is our own TV show, and we just wanted to have Superman be black in this one because we like this character, we think he's a great actor... Perfect, fine. I'm one of the people who wants Idris Elba to play fucking James Bond because I think he'd do an amazing job in it.
I want P. Diddy to be Bond.
What if he shows up in the next DC movie and it's like, Superman, you look different, and he's like, I'm better now.
But you can't have these kind of conversations without people either accusing you of being racist by pointing out, sometimes, over diversity or needless diversity is needless, and it's not detrimental to the plot, but it's honestly a needless decision. And so you can't have a conversation without somebody doing that. And you also can't have a conversation where people without being called a racist or without people bringing in racism. I'm not a racist by any means, but if I were to have this kind of conversation online, it would inevitably devolve into people accusing me of being racist, and then people spouting racist shit. And I don't like that. I don't agree with racists. I think racists are fucking stupid, deplorable people who are extremely short-sighted. I'm glad you agree with me.
I this is why I find myself on, unfortunately, the same side as the racists in a lot of these discussions. Well, because there's only their side. It's the side of the ultra diversity assholes.
Yeah.
And then there's everybody else in their eyes. So if you don't align your opinions with their side exactly, you're on the side of everybody else, and unfortunately, that side is the side of these racist asshole bigots.
Yeah, but you could
Right?
say the same thing for the racist asshole bigot. If you're not exactly like them and don't want any diversity,
You're absolutely right.
So
but
it's-
those
it's-
asshole bigots aren't the ones saying that you should feel terrible for being white.
No, but at the same time, they're the same people who are telling black people that they should feel terrible for being black. So they're the same level of asshole. Well,
Yes.
I don't know about the same level, but they're the same level of ignorant and uncompromising. I think white supremacists are always going to be a little bit, just because of
Oh yeah, fuck those guys.
fuck those guys. Seriously, fuck those guys. But I think bigots. There's bigots on both sides,
Absolutely.
and there's people who are uncompromising on both sides. And I generally think that 90% of people are like us, and we fall in the middle. We want diversity and stuff. We want a lot of diversity. I'd love to see more female. I'm happy that in video games now we're seeing more female characters.
You can play as 2013 Lara as well.
Yeah, I know. Thanks for spoiling for me.
Do you want me to spoil the other ones?
No.
Okay.
But and
It changes her face too, by the way.
I want to
Yeah.
I want to be able to play as different types of characters. I'd love to be able to play as more Asian characters. I'd love to be able to play as Middle Eastern characters or people of Spanish descent, or South American descent. I think
You're
that'd
just
be really
listing
cool.
races.
Yeah, because I
You
like
got
to
all
play
these
them.
races. You're
I'd
like,
love to
oh, I
have-
can't hold all these races. Here's some.
I'd love to have a game that takes
Stop
place in
leaving out
Africa
races,
where you
Adam.
play as somebody from Africa, because I don't really know a lot about those cultures, and I'd be a cool way to explore that.
They should make a new Black Panther, but make Morgan Freeman have to be Black Panther.
You're racist for liking Black Panther because
oh
Chadwick
yeah, I wasn't
Boseman's
supposed
not
to
a
see
real
it because
African.
I'm white. I forget.
Yeah, but he's not a real African. That's racist.
Right. Remember when he said that he wanted to be buried with his ancestors that all died, so that they couldn't have been his ancestors in the ocean?
Yeah.
Remember that? Remember that stupid line? That was awful.
Well, I mean, they could have had sex before they died.
If you guys ever actually look into the history of the slave trade,
They could have been making butt babies on the boat.
I
It's a
have.
very-
It's terrible.
No, it's terrible.
It's extremely depressing.
No. But what I'm saying is, it's a very It's an extremely important and very interesting aspect of history to see how an entire group of people were basically subjugated and enslaved.
Yes.
It was not people talk about slavery, but they don't really talk about how endemic and how systematic the slavery was,
But
and how an entire industry was.
It
made.
wasn't.
I think
It
that's
wasn't just then either. It's basically all of humanity from its birth up to when slavery became not a huge thing anymore. Even
This
though
is really the
it still exists, but not on a
it's
huge level
illegal
anymore.
In
Yes.
most countries, it's illegal now.
Up until the point where slavery became illegal
In the States.
In the States, slavery has existed in.
Yeah, this is actually the one
you know.
time in human history where we're actually living right now in a historical kind of anomaly, because there's not very many wars and there's not very many slaves, and arguably
People have so little to complain about that they're making shit up now.
No, well, I mean, there is always slaves, so even though they're technically being paid, I would argue that sweatshop workers are the new slaves. Because,
Oh yeah, absolutely.
and but that's a whole different
There's
conversation.
absolutely unfair living conditions.
Yes.
It's just not legal slavery anymore.
No. I guess if you're paying them a penny, then they're not technically slaves, right?
Yeah.
Right? That's one of the funniest...
Nice job. You stupid was that a monkey?
Yeah.
Stupid
Him
monkey.
falling out in that hole is great.
Can you do...
What are you killing your
Can you make
ancestors
a gif
for?
of that?
Can I get a gif of it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, monkeys are cool. Terrifying, but cool.
Also easy to kill, apparently.
Anyway, jumping back to the Siri discussion. This was a unsubstantiated rumor. This was just something that came out from, I guess, their studio or whatever. And there was another rumor that came out and said that they were looking for a white actress of Slavic descent.
Good.
So I don't know if they're looking for... I don't know. But
I don't think...
But both of these have been unsubstantiated. So they might both be true, and they might just be looking for whoever they like the most.
Yeah.
Or they could be looking for one as opposed to the other.
Is this supposed to be a retelling of one of the Witcher stories, or is it more like the game?
I think so. The first 2 Witcher books are short story collections.
Yeah.
I think the show is. No, that's wrong then, because Ciri's not in either of those. So I guess it would be. It's probably a combination of one of those short story collections and the first actual novel in the series.
Oh, okay.
Because the first 2 books aren't technically part of the main series. They're just short story collections about Geralt or one of the other characters in the universe. And then, starting with Blood of Elves, then it starts the series about Ciri and Geralt and Yennefer and Triss and all that. And then Geralt dies at the end. Spoiler.
Except not really.
Except not really, and then the games happen.
And then
Except not in the eyes of the book creator.
And then Henry Cavill leaves again.
Is there a reason he doesn't like the games?
Because he sold it for way too little money.
Oh. That's like J.R.R. Tolkien.
Also, the games are more well known than his books, so obviously you're gonna feel a little bitter about that.
Yeah, like J.R.R. Tolkien. I think what the game should do is be like, hey, if you like this, you should probably read the books because they're good. But J.R.R. Tolkien famously sold the rights for the movie rights for Lord of the Rings for like very, very little because he's like, there's no way anybody can ever make a really good movie out of this. And at the time he was probably correct because who was really making fantasy movies back then? It was all.
What do you mean that cartoon Lord of the Rings movie?
Ralph Bakshi one?
Yeah, that was amazing.
That actually did some parts better than the Peter Jackson Lord of the Rings.
I don't disagree, but also some of the things were terrible.
Yeah, the voice acting is actually really good in that.
Yeah,
and in the I don't know if Ralph Bakshi did it, but whoever did the Hobbit animated film at the same time did the voice of Smaug, and that was the same guy who played the villain in The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. I forget his name. He was the bad in The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. I forget the actor's name.
Me too.
But anyway, we should probably clue up.
What's next here? Oh yeah. So it's still on the topic of controversies.
Oh, shit.
Battlefield 5 with its super customizable World War II setting. Apparently DICE is backtracking a little bit on its more outrageous customization items. They didn't specify exactly what that means, but we can only assume it's... They said they're going to go for a more authentic approach to customization. So hopefully that means that your character customization is going to stay in the realm of possibility for World War II. They didn't say they're taking women out of the equation, so I would assume they're still in. They're still going to be, completely playable on the battlefields. And you know what? If that's what they're doing, that's fine.
Seen a bit of double there.
If they're choosing to do that, that's fine.
Okay.
But I think more in terms of in the initial trailer for this, we saw the dude.
Shit!
Holy fuck! That's a massive thing. What the hell is that? Oh, is that a jaguar?
I guess so.
That looked massive coming up the tree at you. Holy shit!
It can climb trees. Oh shit!
You killed the shit out of that.
It just looked fucking massive coming up the tree. Holy shit!
All right.
Jaguars are scary as fuck. Did they have, per size, they have the biggest bite force of any of the big cats?
I don't know.
That's actually how they kill their prey. So tigers, when they take down their prey, they go to puncture the jugular and basically suffocate them. Mm-hmm. Jaguars go for the back of the head and crush the skull, and that's how they take out caimans, which are basically crocodiles.
That's how raptors used to do it too.
Nope.
How did the raptors kill their prey?
The raptors, it's nobody's really sure, but one of the leading theories is that raptors would use their sickle claw to poke a hole right through the jugular and either sever the main vein or the windpipe or both, and so the animal would bleed out.
It seems like a lot of dicking around.
And
for
if
a thing with a lot
humans
of
were
teeth.
alive back then, how would they kill you?
How would humans kill us?
How would a raptor take on a human?
Probably quite easily,
like a fat child.
Now, right across the belly.
What, like spilling your intestines?
Or maybe here. Right across the belly. Spilling your intestines. The point is, you're still alive when they start to eat you.
That kid was
So
annoying.
maybe show these animals a little bit of respect. Okay.
What an annoying kid.
Okay.
They do not smell. Some of them smell. Baby smell.
Anyway.
I could, right now, line for line, quote Jurassic Park you. I could just do the
you
whole
don't
movie.
need to do that.
Anyway, infamously, from the initial Battlefield 5 trailer, we saw World War II soldier wielding a katana. We saw
They didn't exist
a
back
disabled
then.
woman with a prosthetic arm with face paint, war face paint.
Like I said when it first came out, I'm fine with a World War II style game having those types of customization elements, and I'm fine with a World War II game being super realistic. But I don't think you can have the two. You can't have the two things.
And I think that's where the disparity.
Discrepancy.
No, the disparity is also a word. Disparity.
Are you feeling all right, man?
No.
We might want to end.
That's where the discrepancy's coming from.
It's not discrepancy. I just.
Oh, god damn it.
I mean,
Anyway,
me saying it.
They've come out and said that they're going for more. They've heard the community and they're going to go for a more authentic approach to it.
So they're getting rid of katanas and women?
I don't think they didn't say anything about the women. So
To be fair, there were katanas in World War II. They were just on the east,
yes, yeah, you're right.
On the Pacific Front.
You're absolutely right. I don't think they were heavily involved in European battles. Though.
No. Although there was one dude who went in the battle with a claymore.
Yeah,
he was
the Scottish guy.
Yeah, he was awesome. He went in the battle with a claymore and a bow and arrow.
Did he die instantly?
No, he made it through the whole war, I'm pretty sure. But there's a picture.
How many confirmed kills?
I don't know, but there's a picture of him storming up the beach in Normandy with the fucking claymore, and the German like, Jesus Christ!
The fuck is that guy got? Is it a sword?
He's like deflecting bullets somehow with his claymore.
Super anime.
He's just an absolute edgelord.
The original edgelord.
He's got a big long ponytail and a fedora. Yeah. So
Anyway,
this could mean a bunch of different things. It could just mean that you can't wear pink outfits now. I don't know.
probably means you gotta unlock the katana with a loot box.
Yeah, and they've also said nothing's off the table in terms of future support, so it might all come back in afterwards.
So I wanna just point out this guy, but I'll do it at the end of the podcast.
All right, what's next here? Hey, Aaron, do you love Destiny?
Yeah, I mean, we can probably end on this as well. I had a few other things in there, but it was only under the pretense that the podcast wasn't going to go very long, but we're at a fucking hour and a half right now. So, yeah, I mentioned last week, I think it was, that I was having a lot of fun with Destiny. That's waning a bit because from particularly one reason, and it's the amount of enemies that spawn. Like, particularly in the hub world areas, which most of the missions take place in, if not all of them. And I find that annoying because, particularly when you get further in the game, I think it's on Nessus or whatever, around that time, where you start unlocking stuff and it's fun, but there's just so many fucking enemies that it becomes a nuisance. Like,
you don't have to fight
Jesus.
them. You can just most people blitz through them.
Like, I want to, like, there's a cool world there and there's lore and stuff, and this game actually kind of presents some of that this time, and I want to just kind of explore and experience that to some degree.
I'm not going to play it,
but this game doesn't allow you to just explore because there's a zillion enemies around every corner.
Yeah.
And they respawn so quickly that it's like, all right, I killed everybody and I got a cool thing. Let me look at this thing I got. And 3 seconds into looking at it in the menu, you're getting shot to shit again. And that happened to me the last time I was playing it. I stood in one spot. I did not move. And I kid you not, killed probably 200 enemies that just kept spawning in and spawning in and spawning in on me.
It is a problem.
While I was trying to look at something. It's like, fuck off and just let me look at my shit. It's really fucking annoying.
It's the problem with being an MMO. The biggest shame about Destiny is it absolutely deserved to be a single-player only game because there's so much cool potential lore. There's so many cool locations. The enemy factions are all really cool. They had such an opportunity to have a really cool single-player experience, and they made it an MMO, or at least an online game.
Just have shit spawn less. That's
And
all you got to do.
Anyway, I agree with your complaint, Aaron. I think I don't find it as bad, but I'm used to it. because I played. That's what Destiny 1 was like. So
Yeah. I
You've
don't know.
grown
I wish there was
accustomed to
more.
trash.
no, I mean I like Destiny just because like it's a game I can play and grind, and because I really like the combat in Destiny. I think the combat's really good, and I can play the combat, and because it's just a lot of grinding, I can put a podcast on in the background. So it's kind of like Jurassic World Evolutions or Grand Theft Auto Online, where it's like I can just put this on and then listen to Critical Role or Lore with Aaron Mackey or whatever in the background. I haven't listened to him in a while.
It is fun, but I wish there was more downtime. Like, let me explore the world.
Yeah,
Like,
we should play more together, Aaron.
yeah, and I'll
This
keep
isn't
playing
something-
it, but it's just it has the same issue that I kind of had with Warframe, is that it's too repetitive. I don't mind shooting at shit all the time, but let me do something else in between, and it's really not anything other than shooting stuff. And that's just what gets like super repetitive about it. Like if there was like a exploration side quest or something, where you can, I don't know, just go like there's a relic, go find it and do this, because there's a lot of platforming in that game as well, more so than you would have thought for a shooter. Have some platforming and have like a side quest that isn't related to killing 7 million enemies, because it gets annoying. Anyway.
So, this guy's name was Jack Malcolm Thorpe Fleming
I
Churchill,
end up
which
doing a
is
loop
just about the most English name. I tried to make a character in one of my Dungeons and Dragons called. I tried to make him like a super British name, and it's less British than this. I went into the character creation
Alright.
basically wanting to make Nigel Thornberry, and I failed because this guy's name is John Malcolm Thorpe Fleming Churchill. He was a British Army officer who fought in the Second World War, armed only with longbow, bagpipes, and a basket-hilted Scottish broadsword. He was known by the nickname Fighting Jack Churchill and Mad Jack, and he was known for the motto, "Any officer who goes into action without a sword is improperly dressed." And he genuinely killed people with those fucking bow and arrows and like the swords and stuff. What an absolute fucking madman.
What was your character's name? Like Sir Reginald Peasant Stomp or something?
That's actually pretty good. No, I think his name was. His name is. Oh my god, it's really long. Richard Alexander Carabrec Quartermain III, Esquire. But has shortened it to Dickie because he's really gay.
Little Dicky.
No, he's a homosexual. Like I love Dickie. He's one of my favorite characters to play. Really cool character, very flamboyant. Think of him as like the kind of great white hunter kind of person, but more Nigel Thornberry as opposed to the villain from Jumanji. That kind of just like he's so posh and he's so well educated that he comes across as like a fucking asshole and a doofus, but he's very well meaning. He's just an idiot. So I really like playing Dickie. He's a big fucking doofus.
Did he have a high charisma or a low one?
So his high stat was intelligence because he's a wizard, and then his second high stat was charisma. He has a -2 strength. I believe he has a -2 constitution, so he's fucking frail. But the way I put it is, he's just really fat and out of shape. So while everyone else in the party is like these like super muscle bound adventurers, like he's going to the dungeon, so he has to stop every couple